Hello, and welcome to another retro video game stream on original hardware. Tonight we're going to be playing Dragon Spirit, the new legend, on the Nintendo Entertainment System. This is a vertical shoot 'em up with a fantasy theme where you play a dragon and collect power ups and shoot enemies on the ground and in the air. So a little bit of a Xavius type feel to it. It's based on an arcade game by Namco. Looks like it was licensed by Bandai. The arcade game was released in '87, and the NES title was released in 1990. Altered a little bit from the arcade game. I never played the arcade game. In fact, I don't think I ever saw it. I probably would have liked it if I had seen it. I liked shoot 'em up style games, Galaga, going all the way back. And probably would have liked playing Dragon Spirit, but never saw it, and I never saw the NES title either, so didn't even have a chance to rent it. I saw this on a list of TurboGrafx 16 shoot 'em ups that were actually, considered, games you should check out. And when I was watching a TurboGrafx 16 review, I looked it up, and it turned out it had an NES release as well. So when there's a game that's on both the TurboGrafx and the NES, I generally try to look for the NES version because, one, it's a lot cheaper, and two, I don't know, I sort of feel like collecting for the NES is sort of something I'd rather do than the TurboGrafx if I can. TurboGrafx has such a limited library, and the titles are very expensive. I don't know. I guess I'm more of a Nintendo person than a TurboGrafx person, even though the TurboGrafx 16 version of this looks really good. And most TurboGrafx games look fantastic, especially shoot 'em ups. So, anyway, I was able to get this game for relatively inexpensive. I really like shoot 'em ups. It's one of my favorite genres, and certainly vertical shoot 'em ups are one of my favorites as well. This is no exception. I think it looks pretty good. It's pretty colorful. Has power ups. You can see here from the demo that it looks pretty good, especially for an NES title. It's a late NES retitled. 1990 is pretty late. The Super Nintendo I think was out by the time this came out. It certainly was in Japan. So kind of an interesting late-ish release for the NES, and maybe that's why I never saw it for rent, because by then we were renting Super Nintendo games. So anyway, you start out. It has an interesting difficulty setting where you start out and you have kind of a little prologue sequence where you play as the Blue Dragon. You're a prince who turns into a dragon, and you can see some of the story here. And trying to save a kingdom, rescue, maids or something like that. Like most shoot 'em ups, the story is sort of inconsequential. But anyway, you start out as the Blue Dragon, and if you fail the prologue, it kicks you into the sort of beginner mode where you play the Gold Dragon, who's more powered up, and then you play a different version of the game. I guess a more limited version of the game. As the Gold Dragon rather than the Blue Dragon, which is the normal dragon that you play as for normal difficulty. So when I was testing this out earlier, I didn't even realize that. I was like, what's happening? I'm dead? Oh, now I'm Gold Dragon? Okay. So I think we'll try to play it as the Blue Dragon, which is the normal difficulty. And I don't know, I don't feel like this game has a reputation for being particularly hard. However, any NES game is going to be challenging. So that's my introduction for Dragon Spirit. I've got my Dogbone controller. I've got my turbo on my 4-score turned on here. And let's go ahead and get started with some Dragon Spirit on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Yeah, 1990. Alright. Yeah, interestingly enough, there are power-ups that you actually want to avoid. Some power-ups are beneficial, and some are not. You can see I have to shoot these enemies on the ground here. You have a health meter in the lower left-hand corner there. Yeah, in this prologue, you fight this demon. Alright, he has a shield, looks like. That wasn't too bad. Alright, so I guess we're going to continue as the Blue Dragon. Emru became ill from his battle with Zawel. Oh yeah? Welcome to the chat, Fist of Gales. First boss with Gold Dragon, yeah. I when I was testing it myself also got switched to the Gold Dragon, so... But did you have Turbo on for your shots like I do with my 4-score? Because that helps a lot with some of these games. Although I think you get continuous fire as the Gold Dragon, but not the blue one. So see, it says Blue Dragon push start. I didn't notice that the first time I was testing this because I died and it just kicked me into the beginner mode. So that's kind of cool. I wonder if you can select the Gold Dragon? I don't know. Pretty cool graphics for the NES. Nice little cutscene here. It's cool. No, you can't? Alright. Paleozoic era. You can't shoot the ground while you're shooting in the air, which is kind of not great, because, I mean, if you're trying to keep yourself from getting hit or whatever, you have to be a little mindful of shooting the targets on the ground. Yeah, there's little red and blue eggs that you can collect for power-ups on the ground. Gives you an extra head. There's some that are like power-ups that power up your attack power, and there's I took a hit. You lose heads if you take hits too, which is kind of a drag. But at least you don't die. At least you have a health meter. It's nice to not have, like, one-hit deaths, like so many shoot-em-ups. Oh. That's nice. Spread attack. That's interesting. I didn't take a hit there, but I lost my power-up. At least I don't think I took a hit. There must be a limited time on that power-up. Ah! That's what I get for looking at chat. Heart. Is it a 1-up, maybe? Alright. Let's see if it says... Yeah, rest 2, so the heart must be a 1-up. Let's see, is there a checkpoint? Okay. was a checkpoint. A little bit of slowdown there on the old NES. Chugging away on the graphics. Okay, it's running out now. Oh, it's like a super ground attack. That's cool. It's kind of fun that as a power-up you get it like an extra head. It's like, here you go, here's another head. And I normally, you know, I'm really prefer the sort of trope of shoot 'em ups where you're like a spaceship, right? But it's fun to have a, you know, a shoot 'em up where there's something different, a dragon or, you know, whatever. I mean, so many shoot 'em ups are. All right, got him. Yeah, the Gold Dragon is supposed to be easier all around. You have like, you can take 6 hits, and you have continuous fire. I looked at the manual earlier. I'm a maid of Arlia. I was caught by the monster of darkness. My friends are also prisoners. They will be helpful to you if they turn up. Alright, nice little anime cutscene. You know, I hadn't really heard of this game until I looked at it for the TurboGrafx, and it actually seems pretty cool. I mean, I'm surprised I hadn't heard of it, even if you weren't into the, you know, just shoot 'em ups or whatever. It's kind of a neat game. All the power-ups are, you know, kind of neat. There's so many shoot 'em ups from the earlier era, the NES, that are pretty lousy. You know, they're okay, but not. Like Tiger Heli is just, you know, not very good. And that's one that comes up a lot. There's another one I forget what I was looking at. Okay, you lose your double dragons. Oh, nice. Okay. If you take the head power up. Your hitbox on your dragon is pretty big, so it's not particularly forgiving. I guess there is that. But so many shoot 'em ups have such a, you know, reputation for being too hard or kind of unfun because of that. So maybe, you know, Dragon Spirit is a victim of the reputation of shoot 'em ups. Here. Alright, took a hit, but I got him? Maybe? No. Okay. Alright. I don't think so. I don't know of any other NES Dragon shoot 'em ups. The only AD&D NES game I know of is AD&D Pool of Radiance, which I also have, and it's based, you know, it's a port of a computer RPG. Oh boy, stronger enemies are coming now. Heal your wounds and prepare for battle. Free jungle. But I don't, jeez, I'm not that familiar with the NES library. I mean, I know, the usuals, but I don't know any of the really obscure stuff. And I would say this game is sort of mildly obscure. I didn't know about it. Again, it's a late release. I feel like late release stuff people don't generally know that much about. Like, I didn't really know about some of the really late releases, like Yoshi's Cookie. And I think there's a Wario game that's really late release too. It's like 95 or something like that. It's one of the last releases. Wario's Woods, I think. Dragon Strike? Oh, interesting. Never heard of Dragon Strike. Let's look at that. Oh boy, we have some Gradius destroyable terrain here. Can't say I'm a fan of that. Jeez. This. It's a hive that I can't destroy? Can I destroy it? No. No. Lovely. No, I'm getting boxed in. Ugh. Oh wow, I have major spread power up here. Oh, well, I got to skip that part. Okay. Okay, I gotta bomb these eggs, I guess. Alright, do I keep bombing these eggs? What are you doing here? Okay. I'm gonna bomb the flower now. Alright. Got him. It's a shadow something. This forest was once peaceful, but now the plants and birds are gone. Only you can restore the beauty and peace again. Okay. Graveyard. Nice. Spread with 3 dragon heads. No! As soon as I said that, I lost it. Looks like I got shrunk here. That is a power-up you can get. X, I think, is like an earthquake power-up that causes all the ground enemies to be destroyed, which is kind of neat. Although, it's a little distracting. Not sure how I'd play this without turbo. It'd be really tough. Missing opportunities to hit ground targets is not ideal. I mean, I feel like generally in most games, if you get a spread weapon power-up, that's what you want. Whoa. Alright. I thought I was going to take a hit there, and I just killed him. 4 AD&E games on the NES. Oh. Yeah, I only knew about Pool of Radiance. Wait, no, wait, I take that back. I think I knew about maybe Hill Safar is one of them, too. I think I maybe knew about that one. I'm a flower fairy. I had lost all hope. Thank you very much. Area 5, Cave Road. Whoa, okay. I guess I can't. Okay, I guess I'm glad I didn't try to fly into that. I bet those pillars kill me too. Oh boy. Ugh, please don't let the environment kill me. It's always annoying when it's the environment. Ugh, I can't seem to shoot that thing. Parting shot, of course. The spread shot back. Alright, come on. Let's go. Boss fight? No more caves, please. Yeah, so far the boss fights haven't been that bad. I guess I'm supposed to bomb this guy? Okay. Yeah, you know, it's interesting. The boss fights, I feel like in a lot of shoot-'em-ups, at least from this era, are not the hard part of the game. Certainly, like when we were playing Gradius, the boss is sort of like, no big deal. I mean, you won't have power-ups for that game, of course, but like, I don't know. I feel like the levels themselves, like the environment, you know, the walls or the ceiling or whatever, is usually what ends up killing me. Not the enemies or the boss. But I like this game so far in the sense that it's sort of forgiving. The fact that you can take a hit and not lose like all your power-ups and not die and not restart at the beginning, that is a big plus for me. I can't stand that. And a lot of early shoot-'em-ups, one hit, you're dead, you lose everything, and you start over at the beginning of the level. And like R-Type, I think, is that way. And that is just absolutely brutal. I think R-Type might have checkpoints. There's a version of R-Type, maybe it's Super R-Type, that you have to restart. I don't know. But yeah, restarting is always miserable. Alright, the monsters of darkness are coming up in disguise. Okay, area 6. I think there's 9 total areas. So, I'm doing okay. They're little walruses. Walruses that shoot. Nope. This is another environment I can't do anything about. Not like the environment. Oh, that's a skull. I don't want that. Yeah, there's skulls that are bad. Shrink. Okay, ooh, an extra life. Need that. Yeah, but you lose your heads if you take the shrink. That wasn't great. Glacier Island. It's a pretty forgiving checkpoint. I think it's right where I died. Ugh, which is the right way? No. Wasn't I invulnerable there or something? Uh-oh. I cannot imagine. I'm dead. I cannot imagine doing this without turbo. Imagine just tapping the button the whole time? No. Oh, skull. Great. I hit the ice shard. Alright. Last dragon here. Let's make this count. I think that's invulnerability? Don't want the skull. Ugh. Feels like the Battletoads level where you just die. Dang it. A real blue dragon would be tapping. Game over. Defeated in Area 6. The Earth is still in darkness. Just to rub it in for you. Yeah, you know, I'll tell you what, Fistigales. There are people who are like, oh yeah, turbo. That's cheating. Whatever. If the controller has that feature, like the NES Advantage or the 4-score, whatever. I don't consider that cheating. Can I not continue? Okay, there is a continue. All right. Well, as I've said previously, you know, for shoot-em-ups and the shoot-em-up community, they have a thing where they talk about doing a 1-credit clear where you don't use continues, and that's the goal. You want to try to beat the game without continuing, but I've never played this game before, so whatever, we're going to continue. The score tells the truth. Don't want the skull. Yeah, that must be invulnerability. Skull. This wouldn't be so bad if it weren't for the speeding up that happens like halfway through the level. That is just absolutely brutal. Oh, okay. Having the extra heads might have been better than the additional dragons here. Yep, see, that's what I was afraid of. She didn't want the extra dragons. All right. This is definitely a game where you're going to want to play to memorize the levels, like so many shoot-em-ups. I wonder if you have unlimited continues or not. That's good to know. I'll take that. I did read when I was reading about this game that when you get the different, like the additional head power-ups and stuff, it does make your hitbox bigger. So there is a price to pay for getting really powered up. I mean, certainly on this particular level, that's not great. Can't tell if I'm supposed to... Okay. Got him. Flying down into the water. You're entering the world of darkness. No one can help you. Okay. All I can do for you is heal your wounds. Okay, thank you. Deep sea. That's kind of neat that you go underwater. Because why not? I'm a dragon. Do all the things. Breathe fire, breathe water. Makes sense. Skull. Go away, skull. Environmental hazard. Can't bomb that either. What the heck? You have to shoot it. Okay. Of course, I can't shoot those. Maybe I can with the... I was gonna say, maybe I can with the dragons. But I guess not. Bomb that thing? Okay. Game over. Can we continue again? Alright. Area 7, Deep Sea. You know, I mentioned that I play with the Dogbone controller. I know there's people that feel very strongly about the Dogbone controller versus the original NES controller or whatever, or even the NES Advantage or Max. Although the Max I never liked using. Apparently it's really good for like hockey games, but I always thought the Max was like really confusing as a controller. But anyway, I like the Dogbone controller. I think it's really comfortable, and I don't understand why there's some people that hate it. obviously, the Super Nintendo being my favorite console of all time, and the controller being my favorite controller of all time, means that the Dogbone controller being Super NES-like is a big seller for me. But also, like, my adult hands are way bigger than my kid hands, and the kid hands fit the old NES controller better, I guess. I don't know. Don't want that. Go away. Can't bomb those. The skull. What is that? Oh, it's a spread. Awesome. What am I supposed to do with these guys? I don't know. I don't know if I'm supposed to bomb them. They just... Bombing didn't seem to hurt them. Are you supposed to just avoid them? That's nice. A bunch of quick power-ups. I'll take it. I guess the checkpoint is you have to get past these spiny things again. I don't know what to do with these things that come shooting out of the ground. Alright, am I bombing? Bombing? What's going on here? I guess you can shoot the heads off? Okay, you can shoot the heads off if you catch them right away. That's great. Well, at least we survived. Boss, okay. About ate it there. Does this feel like a horseshoe crab? Got him. Area 8, Dark Quarters. These are just... okay. There's just things in the dark that you gotta avoid. That's great. Yeah, it was a little tougher with no power-ups, but the turbo made a big difference. I don't like these things that they're dark that are in the way. I guess you can sort of see what you're hitting in the dark. If there's something in front of you, it will show up. Guess there's that. Nope, nope. This feels a little Xanic-like to me, I'll be honest. The late stages in Xanic are sort of like this, where you have stuff you're not sure you can hurt, stuff you have to avoid. Nope, I don't want the skull. Ooh. What was that? Ooh. Am I invulnerable? I'm supposed to bomb those things? Oh no. Yes. I'm losing my invulnerability, maybe? Yes. Okay. Oh no! Almost. Please let there be another continue. Nope, you get 2 continues. All right, Area 8. Although I'll tell you what, I actually like that they're limited continues, because when there's unlimited continues, it's too easy. You can just beat it, right? Just keep playing and playing and playing. The only exception to that is Ninja Gaiden, because without unlimited continues, that game's impossible. It might be impossible anyway. Well, this is great. I had a really good time playing this. This game's really fun. I don't know if, because it's a late release, that it has some of the polish that the earlier NES shoot-'em-ups of this variety don't have. I mean, I'm sure that that's a contributing factor, but like the idea that you can take, multiple hits and not die, the sort of, the graphics are nice and colorful. They look pretty good. You can tell that the NES is working a little harder with some of the, screen slowdown, which means it's really getting pushed, which is kind of cool. Having to switch between the ground and air targets isn't actually as frustrating as I thought it would be. I feel like, 90% of the time you're shooting stuff in the air. And so the ground targets are sort of just an extra thing you have to target. So it's not annoying having to switch. So this is pretty cool. I'm sure if I played this again, I'd probably get a lot farther, and I wouldn't be surprised if I beat it with another couple of tries. We might play it again on stream and see if we can 1cc it, which would be great. It's also nice that it has, this kind of fantasy theme with dragons and the cutscenes with these, characters that help you or whatever. It's just nice, and it's an inexpensive title for the system. Not that how much a game is to get secondary market makes any difference really on its quality, but it's nice when a good game is inexpensive, because the best games are the ones that people want and they cost more usually, especially if they're rare or they're late release. So I think I paid like $12 shipped for this, which is like, nothing really for a pretty good title. So, all right, well, we're going to wrap it up here. Even though it's only been about 50 minutes. Dragon Spirit on the NES, pretty cool. Definitely enjoy vertical shoot 'em ups, and this was a good one. I'm glad I bought it. So we'll be back next week with some more retro video games on original hardware, and I really appreciate you tuning in and chatting with me. I hope you had a good time, and maybe we'll see you again next week. Have a great rest of your evening.